Hello everyone, it's me, Christine. It's been a while since I've made a video, but here I am. And I want to welcome you if you're a new subscriber, and if you don't know who I am, I'm Christine. As I said, I'm about 100 years pregnant at the moment, and I teach women to sew all kinds of projects. Let's have to finish that. Kids' clothes, their own clothes, cute little things. I don't even have something I can show you, like this ironing mat. All kinds of things. I learned to sew as adult. I learned to sew as an adult. Learned to speak as a kid. Wouldn't think so. And now I teach adult beginners because I don't believe all the CRAP you hear out there. So I do things my way. Okay, welcome. This video is about what you should sew first. What should you sew first? And this comes after I started a brand new free sewing community. The link is, everything is in the description. And inside there, you'll find my Sewing 101 course. Used to be a paid course. It's free now. And my Learn to Use Your Sewing Machine course, you'll find the shorts. I've got a free beginner shorts pattern and sew along in there with videos. And I get asked this all the time, and I see this all the time on sewing groups. What should I sew first? And it's the wrong question. You're asking the wrong question. The question is, what do I want to sew? What do I want to achieve with my sewing? Why am I sewing? Find your why and all that hoo-ha. Just lost my train of thought. Oh, okay, wait, it's back. Okay, I do have ADHD, and like I said, I'm 100 years pregnant, so it's a little bit worse. But so the first question is, what do I want to sew? What is your goal? Like, if you want to learn to make sourdough, you're definitely not going to learn to fry a steak first. You're going to learn to make sourdough, and it's only in the sewing community, I think. I don't know. I don't have many other hobbies in like textile communities. But it feels like it's only in the sewing community where people are telling you, no, don't start with that. You can't start with clothes. You can't start with quilts. You know, start with something simple, and everyone has to sew the first thing, all the same things. Like we all have to sew a million cushion covers or whatever. Which is a great first project. I have it as a first project. But if it's not you, don't do it. Make something else. So that's the question you need to be asking is, what do I want to sew? If you want to learn to paint with oil paint, you're not necessarily going to learn color by numbers, you know? You get what I mean. So there are different sewing directions. I want a hobby that helps me be creative. I want to sew for my kids. I want to repair things. I want to upcycle. I want to quilt. Whatever. I want to make my own clothes. So many directions you can go in. Some of us want to do all those things. Me, I want to do all those things. And all the women in my creative sewing club, they also mostly want to do all those things. So if you want to do all of them, you're not alone. We are real people. Not everyone has like one narrow interest. But the point is, when you know what you want to sew, you know where to start. Otherwise, you're going to end up following advice that just gets you nowhere. You're going to end up making things you have zero interest in. Sewing is going to be boring. It's going to be so hard. It's going to take forever because you don't want to do it, because you don't care about what you're making. So what should you sew first then? Well, let's think about the direction you want to go in. Maybe you just want to get to know your sewing machine. Practice. You're not too bothered about the end result, or you're happy to sew like useful things that aren't clothes. Then definitely do like a cushion cover, pillow sham, pillowcase, whatever it's called in your country. Those things are crazy expensive. So easy to make. Don't use a lot of fabric. That one's free. I've got that as a free project in my free community in the description. And then another like very popular one is a tote bag. So easy. And if you like making gifts or even just gifting things, how cool is it to put it in a little handmade bag, And you can even put a little handmade label on. I'm looking for my labels, but you see the situation. It's a mess. Put a little label on. Those are super easy. You're practicing cutting straight lines, seam allowances, all the things you need. Okay? And now, what if you want to sew clothes? I cannot recommend like lounge pants or pull on pants enough. They are so much fun. You can make them out of like old pillowcases and sheets. Fabric is easy to find. You can make them for everyone in your family or your friends. And they're useful because if they end up looking sucky, you can sleep in them. So you've either got pants or you've got pajamas, okay? It's like a win-win. Other easy clothing patterns, anything with an elastic. I'm pro anything with elastic, not just because of my giant belly right now, but because there's not a lot of fitting involved. So it's more of like a sew and go kind of thing. You make it and you can wear it. And if it's a little bit loose or tight, you can change it easily. Or like pajama pants, pull on pants with pockets. That's another skill. I love a top with like the sleeve cut on. That's called a dolman. Those are all great beginner patterns. But the point is, you don't have to start with the same thing everyone in all the groups is telling you to start with. Everyone's like, start with something small, you know, a small little purse or like coasters or, I don't know, sew 2 rectangles together. You don't have to start with that. If that sounds super boring to you, please don't. Find something that interests you. Be realistic. You do need to know that the more pattern pieces and the more skills, the longer it will take. And if you're a beginner, it's going to take so much longer. So if the pattern says 2 hours, you bet you're going to be busy for probably like 2 weeks, maybe longer. But it can be done. It's all just about following directions, trying, finding the information. If you're not sure what something means, really, you can make amazing things. Don't let it hold you back. And sewing something that's a little bit tricky and it turns out, nothing better than that. If it turns out well, you can use it. You'll be so proud of yourself and you'll be so confident. And that was my quick hop on video. What should you sew as a beginner? Don't forget to come and join my beginner sewing community. There's a sewing 101 course. There is a learn to use your sewing machine course. And there are some fun beginner patterns, including my beginner lounge shorts pattern. And what else is in there? Just amazing people in general. Can't wait to see you there. I'm happy to be back on YouTube. I'll probably be here for a few months and then you might see me with an additional little passenger. And what was your first sewing project? I'd love to know. So come and chat along in the comments and come and tell me what you made. What was your first thing?